Hello, everyone. Welcome to the April meeting of the Fort Worth Astronomical Society, our second of our virtual meetings. I'm Chris Monthy. I'm your president, at least for a few more months. We'll talk about that later. We are all stuck in this situation because of the COVID-19 virus, so we're dealing with it as best we can. We are no longer able to hold physical meetings. Our meeting location at the UNT Health Sciences Center has shut down. No meetings at least until May, possibly longer. So we're doing these instead. I still want to maintain contact with everyone. I still want to maintain the meeting structure. But this is as good as we can make it for now. We have gone virtual for star parties as well, and we'll get into that. So, guess without further ado, let's go ahead and continue. So, all right. Again, this is our April meeting, and we do meet on the third Tuesday of every month. And usually it is at the UNT Health Sciences Center, but because we can't do that, we're doing this for now. So let's go on. For you new people, oops. There we go. Who is the Fort Worth Astronomical Society? Well, we were established in 1949 by Miss Charlie Mary Noble, for whom the Noble Planetarium at the Fort Worth Museum of Science History is named. And we are one of the first adult amateur astronomical societies in the United States. And we were, much like the museum, founded as a children's organization until the adults decided, hey, we want some of that too. And it became an adult organization instead. We are one of the largest astronomy clubs in the United States. We have, I believe, 143 members right now. And we are a 501c3 tax-exempt organization, so anything you give to us can be written off your taxes as a donation. So, our mission to actively promote the science of astronomy through outreach and education, such as free public star parties, other public events, museum presentations, and school presentations. We're kind of limited on that right now. To encourage and coordinate the activities of other groups interested in astronomy, which we still can do. To foster observational work and research among our members, which is kind of possible. And to foster craftsmanship in the construction of astronomical instruments, and to make such instruments available for the use of its members to the extent practical. Part of that, we can still build telescopes at home, we just can't take them out anywhere for now. So, the Fort Worth Astronomical Society was formed for educational and scientific purposes for all individuals and all groups for the primary purpose of developing and implementing programs designed to increase the awareness and knowledge of astronomy for all interested individuals, but specifically for those living in and around Tarrant County, Texas. Providing the opportunity for those individuals to pursue the science of astronomy in a dark observation site using club-owned equipment. Not right now. Providing an opportunity for all club members and guests to share their experiences and discoveries. We can still do that. And so, again, welcome to our second virtual public meeting because of the COVID-19 situation. Remember, wash your hands, don't touch your face, self-quarantine as much as possible, and if you have to go out, please wear a mask. You can sew a mask, you can make one out of a t-shirt and coffee filters for right now if you have to. There are instructions online on how to do it. Our dark sky sites are one in Wise County at the Thompson Foundation, and it is a private nature reserve. We have a number of telescopes out there, we have power, we have water. We're not going out there right now. Stevens County, Star Ranch, is our second site north of Ranger, and we have the 19-inch scope out there. We have some power, it's solar and batteries. There's a composting toilet. Again, we're not going out there. Star parties. They've all been canceled. Up until, let's call it really June, I don't plan on having any more star parties for all of May until we are in a much better situation. And we'll get into that later as well. But our recommendations are no large groups. And our star parties typically go anywhere from 20 people, and I think we've had up to 250 lately. So we just can't risk it. So we're not doing any public star parties. As soon as medical experts agree that it is feasible for us to do it, that it is safe for us to do it, we will start doing them again, but not at this time. we do have a way. We do have a way to have a star party and have public involvement, and we'll get into that. So something that we have been doing is a lot more social media outreach. So I've gotten the YouTube channel up, and it's got a name. So it's youtube.com/C for channel and Fort Worth Astronomical Society. I couldn't get it any shorter. It's what YouTube gave me. It's what it got. And then we have the Facebook page as well. The virtual star parties. So we've been having them as time and weather permit. So far, I think we've had 1, 2, 3. I think there have been 3. This last one that we did last week, we had 4 hosts, myself, we had George Lutch, we had Robert Cargill, and we had Dave Cox. And we were actually able to use Zoom to switch between the different views, and people could show their own telescopes, their own equipment, maybe not their own telescopes, but they could show the night sky through their telescope, show some of their images through their desktop. They could show some of the process of taking photos and processing the photos. It's not the same as being out in a dark sky site because we're all in town, roughly in town. We can't get really dark skies yet. But it does let the public get a taste for some of the brighter objects. We looked at Venus. We looked at Comet Atlas, which just broke up. We looked at clusters, both open clusters and globular clusters. Took a brief glance at the moon. I think next week it may be better, so I do plan on doing some moon viewing the first week of May. Yeah, the first full week of May. We'll see how that goes with the weather. But we're able to do some of this stuff. We're able to actually show objects in the sky to the public and have some interaction. People can type in questions in the YouTube chat. Just quick, anyone? I don't see any questions. Good. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments that you would like me to answer, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll be glancing over every once in a while and seeing if there's anything on there that needs to be addressed. But again, we are able to do the virtual star parties. They have been going pretty well. We have some good turnout, especially because we don't have a huge media presence. It hasn't been too bad. So if you go to the address that I had there before, you'll be able to check it out. You can also just go to YouTube and just type in Fort Worth Astronomical Society, and we pop up right there. For Facebook, thank you, Robert Cargill. He's been adding a lot of content as well. So have I. We've been increasing the number of followers, increasing the number of likes. We've been posting articles. We've been posting images since March. We have an album of astrophotography by our club members. So we've just been, every couple days, we upload some new images. Every day we try to put in an article or two just to get additional engagement, just to get people in. Facebook gave me $10 to spend on advertising. So I went ahead and used it to advertise the YouTube link for the last star party. And on the chart here, you can see that darker orange color is the paid views that we got from that. So, you know, $10 is $10. We didn't get a whole lot of it. I think it was about 20 clicks. It was 1,700 views. It was something like 300 impressions, and 20 people click through all the way to the video. So call it 50 cents per click. If I was going to spend club money, I don't think I would do that, but Facebook gave me $10. Might as well use it. Upcoming astronomical events. All right, let's see what's coming up next. So actually tonight and tomorrow night we have the Lyrids. So this is it's a typical shower. It doesn't really pop up until after midnight. So if you're out tonight, never mind, it's cloudy. So tonight's going to be a bust. Maybe tomorrow will be better, but right now I'm looking outside my window. I just see clouds. So too bad. I was actually thinking about setting up an all-sky camera tonight and trying to get some pictures. I may still do that. I'll check the forecast. If it looks like it's going to be cloudy all night long, I'm not going to worry about it. I may try again tomorrow if the weather is better. Might catch something. So for those who don't know, an all-sky camera, it's a dedicated astronomical camera that has a low focal length dome lens on it, and it lets you get 180-degree view of the sky. So it's really neat because you have one little camera, it sits out in the middle of your backyard, and it takes an image every, let's call it, I do an 8-second exposure, I download it. I do another 8-second exposure, I download it. Then at the end of the night, I have a couple thousand images, let's say, and I can drop them into a movie making application, and I can make a time lapse of the entire night sky, and then I can watch a time lapse and I can see all the meteors that come in, as opposed to me sitting outside for, well, all night long and possibly falling asleep or blinking the moment a really nice bright meteor comes by. You let the camera do the work, and then you can process it afterwards and watch. So the Lyrids came from Comet Thatcher, and again, it's pretty average, 20 meteors an hour. It's not a whole lot, but it does run over an extended period of time. But we have a peak, and the peak is going to be tonight, really tonight and tomorrow night. Mostly tomorrow. So you can see on here at about 3:15 a.m., look out towards the east, and when you see Vega, the meteors will seem to stream from near Vega. It's called the radiant. So they can appear all over the sky. They just appear to be coming from this one part of the sky, which is why you need an all-sky camera so you can see everything. And because we have a new moon coming up, the sky should be fairly dark at night. But we have clouds. So, again, we'll see. April 23rd, new moon. So this would be a good time to go out to the dark sky site and do some observing. We're not doing that right now. May 4th and 5th, we have the Eta Aquariids, and this is a little bit better than the Lyrids. So we have about 60 meteors per hour in the southern hemisphere, 30 in the northern hemisphere, and this does come from Comet Halley. And again, there's a spread for when the meteor shower is. It's not all just one day. They come in over a period of time, but we have a peak and then it drops off again. So May 4th, 5th for Eta Aquariids. Hopefully we'll be able to see something out of that. And May 7th, the supermoon. This is the last supermoon of the year, which is good, I think. Is it? No, this is not. This is not the last one, I think. I don't know anymore. Let's find out. So this is the corn planting moon and the milk moon. Oh, yes, it is. It is the last of the supermoons. Good. We don't have to worry about anyone talking about it for the rest of the year, at least. The corn planting moon and the milk moon. It's a supermoon only because it appears slightly bigger. It's a little bit closer to the Earth, and that's it. The new moon on May 22nd. So another time it would be good to go at the dark sky site, but yeah, we can't. So instead, we'll stay home and do it from here. May 23rd, Comet Atlas. So we saw this on the last two star parties. We were able to image this on the, March 28th, and it's not a whole lot to see, but it is there. And let's see if this video works. I'm hoping this will work. Does it go out? Something's going, maybe. This is a time lapse that we did using the images just from about an hour and 40 minutes. I think about an hour and 40 minutes. We were able to see definite movement of the comet against the background stars. Just an hour 40 minutes. It's really amazing what you can see. So when you do imaging, you track the comet. You don't track the stars like you would normally do. But it was quite interesting. So what happened? Last week, it appeared that the comet started to break up. So when we did the star party on Tuesday, we're actually able to see that it was much, much dimmer than before, and that it had broken up into fragments. I think I managed to see at least 2 fragments, one trailing, one ahead. But again, it's not going to be the spectacular comet we were hoping for in May. Oh well. June 4th, Mercury at the greatest eastern elongation. Eastern elongation means it will be in the western part of the sky. So at sunset, what you want to do is get somewhere up high so you can see the horizon and look out for a little bright point of light that's up and to the left of where the sun is setting. And hopefully you'll be able to see Mercury. Again, clear skies are needed. Prime Focus. So this is our newsletter for the Fort Worth Astronomical Society. George Lech is our editor. If you have any images, any articles that you would like featured, please go ahead and submit them to George, and he will put them in there on the next edition. Our presentation, we have astrophotography on any budget, Jerry Gardner. So we'll flip over to Jerry. We're trying something interesting, something new, so we're using Zoom to share from Jerry his presentation. Unfortunately, Jerry's camera has died. Actually, sorry, I think his laptop has died, so he is not going to be able to present his face today. We're just going to be dealing with his presentation, and because of technical issues that we had before, I'm going to have to listen in. And Jerry, can you hear me?
I can.
All righty, let's switch you over, and technical issues again. So I'm going to switch you over to here, and there we go. Okay, Jerry, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I apologize about the camera situation. There's nothing real pretty to look at anyway, so I guarantee you the astro photos you're going to see on my presentation are a lot prettier than my face. But anyways, I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's staying healthy and staying safe during this time. My name is Jerry Gardner. I'm going to give a presentation tonight on something that I hope everyone will enjoy. We're going to talk a little bit about astrophotography and budgeting for astrophotography. I've been imaging now, I guess, since about 2013 is when I started taking pictures after buying equipment. I real quickly realized after I purchased my first round of equipment that I was not buying some very good starter equipment. Unfortunately, I ended up selling that equipment and moving on to some more user-friendly, easier equipment to use. Mainly tonight, I'd like to talk to you all about a common misunderstanding that we have in the astrophotography world. For a long time now, folks have always wanted to dip their toe into astrophotography. So many people always find it intimidating, especially when it comes to the price points and the equipment. Now, I'll go ahead and admit the prices for the equipment in order to obtain solid astrophotos back in the day were a little high. However, with the advancements in technology and the market is the big thing, more manufacturers are producing more equipment, things are a little different now. Even somebody that really felt like they couldn't afford it can afford it. And tonight I want to talk to you about, number one, how it can be affordable, and number two, the different levels of price points. So, first of all, before I get started talking about this, I really want to emphasize that as I go through my slide presentation tonight, I don't want you to be intimidated by some of what you're going to see. If you really want to dip your toe into astrophotography, there are ways to make that happen. I would not encourage you to sign up for that zero interest credit card. I would not encourage you to dip into your 401k, and I would definitely not encourage you to dip into your life savings. We're all grown-ups, okay? You have a budget, you have a household budget, you know what you can do within your means. I'm going to be the first person to let you know I'm not ashamed of this. I fell victim to spending a little too much money ahead of time. So just be mindful of this. Keep it in the back of your head. You know what your budget limits are. You know what you can afford. Don't put yourself in a bind. And that's my motivational speech on that. So we'll go ahead and get started. Probably the most important slide in this deck is the third slide. And this is basically going to give you some links to some very helpful spots on the internet. And I can make this slide deck available to anybody who wants it. It's not a problem. We can either filter this out through the FWAS channels, or you can request it personally. I'll leave that up to you. At the end of the slide, if you want, I'll give you my email address so that you can contact me directly. But on this slide here, there are a few links of some very helpful places. Astromart is a classifieds for astronomy equipment. Cloudy Nights is a forum, very popular forum. It's actually run by the owners of Astronomics in Norman, Oklahoma. It has a very useful classified section. I bring up the classifieds mainly because you can go watch the market. It's a very helpful tool for watching the market, seeing what's popping up on the used market, seeing what prices are going for. You're going to hear me talk a lot about used equipment. I want you to understand that the audience for astrophotography in general, those folks take care of their equipment. I don't want you to be afraid to buy used. Every once in a blue moon, there might be a bad transaction or somebody advertising something that may not quite be worth what they're asking. It doesn't happen that often. For the most part, folks marketing their used equipment are very fair, and they've taken pretty good care of their equipment. I've had a really good experience personally on the used market. LPT Corp, that place is out of California. It's an online retailer for astronomy equipment. You've got Astronomics, which is in Norman, Oklahoma. You can research. I'm not trying to be biased. There are many other outlets you can research. You can go look at the websites of your favorite manufacturer, or research their equipment, their prices. Google is a great resource. We all know why Google is a great resource. Craigslist, I don't want to leave them out, even though Facebook marketing and some other marketing tools have taken over. Craigslist is still good for local used equipment. I actually bought a camera lens on Craigslist one time. It ended up being a really good lens. I have purchased and sold equipment on Craigslist. A lot of folks are a little iffy about meeting locals, in person. If that's a worry for you, then you might want to try another outlet where you can talk to the person about shipping the item. In-person meets just allow you to inspect the item before you actually pay for it. But Craigslist has been a good tool for some things. However, it does seem to be kind of dying out a little bit. Excuse me. Okay. The next slide is we're actually going to get into what you can do for certain amounts of money. And the first one we're going to talk about is the beginner. Now, as a beginner, you're kind of lost. You don't know where to start. You don't know what equipment to buy. And you don't want to go spend thousands and thousands of dollars on some equipment that you possibly can't use. So I'm going to talk to you about a very affordable option that will allow you to maybe test the waters a little bit. The picture in front of you is actually a picture of Comet Lovejoy. It was taken with a full frame camera and a telephoto lens at about 135 millimeter. Now the telephoto lens was a more expensive lens, but I was able to adjust the zoom on the lens in order to frame the comet and the Pleiades in the same frame. So I use this image to just kind of display what you can do with just a simple DSLR camera and a telephoto lens. So that being said, for about 20 bucks, I would say, give or take, you can run up to your local hardware store and you can pick up the equipment to build a barn door or hinge tracker. Now, I do believe somewhere on our site we have instructions on how to build one of these, and I would defer to another member on exactly where those instructions are located, because I don't know exactly where they're located, but I do know one of our members in the past detailed some instructions, and it may or may not include price points or a parts list, but I would defer to the documentation. This is basically a contraption that you can make that will go on top of a tripod or a mini tripod. In a nutshell, it works to track the sky. Basically, one revolution of the knob would equal a minute of Earth rotation. Without going into a bunch of scientific detail, if you Google barn door hinge trackers, you will come up with some information. Also, you can search the used market for a used Canon camera. I kind of set the price point right at around $300. My first one was actually $200. It was a modified Canon 1000D. Some of the newer cameras are going for slightly more money, but it's real easy. These used cameras are all over the market, these used Canon cameras, and you don't have to have the newest of the new. One of the best DSLRs I ever imaged with was an older camera, a Canon T3i. That was one of the cleanest sensors that I ever imaged with. Between that camera and the Canon 6D, those are older cameras. They're affordable. The full frame 6D will have a slightly higher price point, so I don't want to derail our current conversation off into that. But my point is, older cameras are great starting points, and you can pick them up for reasonable amounts of money. A memory card for that camera, you might even get one with the camera when you buy it, so you can scratch that off the list if you get one with the camera or you have one laying around the house. A tripod, new, used, go to your local camera store. You might have one there for 50 bucks. You might be able to pick up a nice Manfrotto for $100, $150. It's just going to depend on your budget. But all in all, you should be able to at least dip your toe into this and see if it's something you want to grow on for roughly $500 or less. And that is if you have no equipment whatsoever. That's just you going out and buying these items on your own, fresh from scratch. Save up for a year or two if you need to. It's a good starting point, especially if this is something you've really been wanting to try. I know several astro imagers can do more with less. I'm a racer too. I'm actually in the process of building a race car, and we have a general rule of thumb in the racing world as well. Do more for less. Instead of putting that power adder on that big cubic inch engine, just build a bigger engine. Anyways, you get the point. So moving on to the next level of astro imaging, we will talk about the amateur level. So let's say you've dipped your toe into the beginner level and you're ready to move on to the next step. Well, the next step becomes a little more involved, especially if you're researching used equipment. So your used market really comes into play here. If you prefer used equipment, if you prefer new equipment, then you may be right at the upper level of this cost basis. So let's talk a little bit about the amateur level price points that we have in front of you. For roughly $2,400 or less, in a nutshell, okay, you could start from scratch. But let's say you already have the DSLR that you've already spent $300 on. You might already have some of this stuff. So you can just take away from that. As far as this price point is concerned, I'm factoring in a used mid-level amateur mount, such as an Ioptron IQ45, the Sim like the Sim 60. Those mounts seem to be pretty popular right now for larger scopes. I do know there was a time on the used market that you could pick up either one of these two items for roughly $1,000. And like I said, used equipment is generally in good condition. So don't be super scared to buy some of this used. Astronomics used to sell, even though this scope is no longer available, I still want to mention it because it's a very good thing to bring up. Astronomics in Norman, Oklahoma is connected with Astrotech. And Astrotech used to manufacture a small telescope called an AT65 EDQ. It was already corrected for flat field. It was a quadruplet element telescope. Brand new, it was $599. I do believe that price went up slightly before they stopped making them and selling them. But you can still find these on the used market. That's one of the reasons why I mentioned this telescope. They are out there. You still might pay $600 for it, even in used form. But I'm telling you right now, if you can find one of these babies, they are worth it. They are good scopes. I've taken several really nice images with one of these low budget telescopes. You'll need an adapter to use with your Canon camera, if you choose to use a Canon camera, or even a CCD camera. You'll need a 2-inch nose adapter. Since this particular telescope that I'm talking about is corrected already, you don't have to buy any special spacers to obtain focus. All you need is a method to attach the camera to the back of the focuser, and then you can focus using your focus controls. No special adapters needed, other than a nose cone adapter. So a focus mask, you want to be able to determine how close you are in focus. Focus masks are relatively inexpensive. If you don't want to spend a bunch of money on focusing software or motor focusers, you don't have to. You can totally get away with a focus mask and manual focus. It's the image that you're looking at in front of you of Andromeda. That was not electronically focused. That was focused using a focus mask, refocusing every half an hour to hour. It can be done. It's very simple. It doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. A modified DSLR, I've seen some of them go on the market for close to $300, $350. A really nice one that might be modified by Hap Griffin or Hutek or Gary Honus might run you closer to $400 or $500, depending, but those cameras are well worth it. If you can find a decent one that has a low shutter count for a reasonable price, snatch that baby up, especially if it's a T3i or a 6D. I only talk specifically about T3i and 6D because I have personal experience with those. I would have never sold those two cameras if I weren't looking to upgrade my equipment at that time. A red dot finder or tail rad can be had for relatively cheap. A couple of my scopes have little $30 red dot finders attached to the finder scope. It's only a tool used to help find stars when you're trying to polar align or get the go-tos in sync on your telescope. Backyard EOS is a program that you can buy a license to for about $30. This will allow you to control your camera, your DSLR camera, through a laptop. They also have a version for Nikon. So if you are into Nikon, they do sell a license for a Nikon version of this software as well, which makes it very handy. It's very, very cost friendly. A laptop, I know what you're thinking. Where are you finding a $200 laptop at? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I want to tell you a story. The reason you can't see my face right now is because my laptop took a dump on me just tonight, okay? That laptop that I'm telling you about was a $200 new egg refurbished laptop that I purchased about 7 years ago. It has been a great laptop. It has lasted me that long. It has survived countless trips to the field. I have taken many astro photos with it. And today is a sad day for me because that laptop is irreplaceable. I feel like I lost a friend today, but they are out there. The newer level laptops might be a little more costly. What I'm talking about are the ones that corporations are letting go of, and basically they sell to sister companies that Newegg is connected with, and they will refurbish and resell these laptops to the public. And believe it or not, a refurbished laptop is not a bad buy. If all you're going to do with it is lug it around in your car and go take astro photos with it and beat it around, mine were only used for capture. I didn't do any heavy processing. I didn't do any heavy work on the laptop at all. It was only for hard drive space. The RAM was very low. When you get done with your imaging, just transfer to a better computer so you can do the rest of whatever you need to do. This price point does not include any guiding. So if guiding is it needs to be worked into your imaging routine, that will have to be accounted for. Guiding setups will add probably $150 to $400 to your budget, depending on what type of setup and what type of camera you decide to use. If you have a spare scope laying around that you can piggyback off of something else, then all you really have to buy is a camera, and then you can guide that way as well. So you have options. You have options if you already have equipment. These price points are really just kind of worst case scenario if you don't have any equipment at all. Okay, moving on to a novice level user. So let's say you have the drive and the motivation to keep progressing forward with this, and you feel like you might be ready for the next level in equipment. Well, they can accommodate you as well. We have our next level of price point will be roughly $5,400, give or take. With roughly that amount of money, you can pick up an astrograph at about 100 millimeters or so. I'm not talking about an FSQ by Takahashi though. Those are probably in the $5,000 to $5,500 range by themselves. But there is a manufacturer out there that sells a kit. It's a 100 millimeter astrograph. Comes with a field flattener. It comes with the camera adapters. It comes with everything you need out of the box. I believe it's right at $2,500. If you'd like more information, you can. Well, I'll just tell you what it is. It's a Skywatcher Esprit 100. It's like a kit, and it's really good for somebody that wants to take another level and exercise their options for a larger refractor, but still kind of think about that budget without going over the top. Maybe you're ready for a modified DSLR or a budget-friendly CMOS or CCD camera. That's going to up the price point just a little bit. An Orion SSAG or a mini guide kit that they have today, I think those are roughly going for about $400, maybe less if you're lucky. They do come with the scope itself and a camera, as well as cables, instructions and software how to use it. So it's basically a one-stop solution for that price. The price point for EQ6 or CGM is for new. Sometimes you can find these on the used. Well, let's see. Those might be a little more now. I think the price point for something new would be closer to maybe $1,400 or $1,500. $1,200 or less, you should still be able to pick one of those up on the used market, or maybe somebody in the club is selling one. Just keep your eyes out. There's going to be a certain level of patience if you're searching the used market, because what's available today may or may not be available tomorrow, and what's not there today may be there next week. And you may spend 6 months looking for the right item at the right price point. But if you're patient enough, you will get there and you will find it, and the items are out there. Again, focus mask, $15 to $30, depending on brand manufacturer. Again, I bring up Backyard EOS or some CCD capture software. I don't know of many CCD capture licenses that are around $30. The $30 price point is really for Backyard EOS and modified DSLR. But there are other price points out there for software designed for CCD capture or CMOS camera, cooled CMOS camera capture. Laptop, I was a little generous here and went ahead and bumped that refurb up to about $300. All right, moving on. The next level would really be kind of like a no limits level. A lot of your audience that has made it to this point has been doing this for a while, and it's a little easier for someone like that to spend this kind of money. Premium mounts such as astrophysics or paramounts, they're not cheap. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they are, because they are not. An entry-level astrophysics mount or paramount is going to run you probably over $6,000 by the time you buy a tripod, extra counterweights, and the extra accessories that may or may not be required, which is the next line, the accessories. You have tripods that are separate. When you go buy a paramount or an astrophysics mount, that does not come with a tripod. It does not come with extra weights. You have to buy these things extra. Premium cameras with filter wheels, monochrome, One-shot color cameras are a little easier on the pocketbook. Monochrome cameras introduce another level of price. You then have to start thinking about filter wheels and the filters to put in the filter wheels. This just opens up the door to a different level of imaging. I would encourage you not to start here. But if you do start here, get with somebody that really knows how to get you going in the right direction, because it's real easy to get fed up and sell everything. And then you have to sell everything for less money due to the market, and you've lost a little bit of money. So I would definitely not encourage starting out in a no limits arena. Dip your toe into this. Figure out what your goals are, what your individual goals are. For me, when I first started out, all I wanted to do was just hang some of my photos on the wall of my house and look at them every day. That's all I really wanted to do. And I didn't have to spend a ton of money to do that. So if you get to this level, just keep in mind that some of this equipment is super, super expensive, and not everybody wants to spend that kind of money on a hobby. Premium astrographs, Takahashi, astrophysics, they all make some very fine instruments, and you pay for them. You pay for that quality. Larger or more elaborate guiding cameras or the scope, off-axis guiders, on-axis guiders, extra attachments, extra spacers, they start adding up. They start adding another level of price points to what you're trying to do. A remote lease, let's say you have all this equipment and you live in the most terrible skies this state or country has to offer. Well, you're going to also spend some money on a lease in New Mexico skies or in West Texas or in California to put all that fancy equipment on so that you can maximize your throughput and get the best image you possibly can. You want that equipment in a nice, clean, dark sky. Expensive software is something else to consider when you're talking about a no limits price point. I don't want to throw this out there, but it's pretty common knowledge. The SkyX is a really, really good piece of software, but it's also like $500, $600 for a license. Not everybody can afford that. Not everybody wants to afford that. And it's hard to use that type of software and not kind of be able to take it for a test drive. So just keep those things in mind. There are some really nice tools, really nice software out there. The SkyX is a great, great piece of software. It is worth every bit what you spend on it. But it just adds another level of price point to what you're trying to achieve and your individual goals. All that being said, you don't have to buy any equipment. There are facilities online now that will allow you to buy time or lease their equipment. Now, I know of a few places that will sell you points, which turn into a per hour. Basically, you buy the points or acquire the points, and you trade your points in for an hour of time on a certain telescope system. More expensive telescope systems require more points. Telescope systems that aren't quite as expensive don't require a large number of points. But if you don't have the means of purchasing equipment or the want to purchase equipment, you continually find yourself living in light polluted skies and you just don't want to mess with it, you can do this. It is a really good option. It's convenient. There's no equipment required, no travel. All of the lease equipment is already located in dark skies. Some of these facilities even have data on their website that you can download for free to see how clean the skies are there. I know Deep Sky West, and I believe they're in New Mexico or Arizona. Super nice facility. They have some free data on their website that you can look at that was taken from their place. You can also partner up and be part of a team, buy into a team. I know Deep Sky West does this for $100 or $200 a year or $600 a year, something along those lines. I can't remember the exact price point right now, but you can purchase yourself into a team, and the team votes on the targets. An operator is selected to control the telescope and image the target, and then everybody gets access to the data. It's just another option. It's an option you can explore. If you're interested in exploring that type of option, I know Deep Sky West does it, so you can Google them or go to their website and read a little bit more about it. iTelescope, they charge on a per point basis, and then basically you trade your points in for hours on a certain system. And they have a bunch of systems. In fact, they have more than one location. They have one location in Australia. And then, of course, there are a few select individuals out there that are already running remote observatories, and you can rent one of their systems by the night or by the hour. If you're really interested in this, hit up the club, hit up Chris, or come talk to me, and I can kind of make a few recommendations if you wish. Okay. Research pointers. Okay, we kind of talked a little bit about this already, but do your research, do some homework, shop the used market, look at what the market is doing, look at the equipment that you're interested in. If you have your heart set on a certain camera or a certain optical system, keep your eye on that stuff, specifically on the used market, versus what it would cost you to just purchase new. Use product ads for comparisons. Know the product before you purchase. Don't go in blindly. I see this very often. If somebody tells you that it's good for astrophotography, I wouldn't always believe them, but chances are you have a resource you can reach out to. The club is a really good resource. The members of FWAS are really good resources for kind of checking yourself. You don't want to find yourself in a pickle with some broken equipment, or you don't know how to use it, or something like that. So just do your research, know what you are looking at before you make a purchase. And then, of course, exercise free trials for software. Backyard EOS, we've talked about, has a free trial. There are other pieces of software out there that will allow a 45-day trial. You can also get trial versions of the software you use to post-process your data once you've captured the data. And some software is just absolutely free. So look into those things, work that into your budget. I know when I first got started in 2013, everything I used was free. I might have bought one license, and it was just a little license. I was stacking with a free program. I was learning how to process my images in a free version of Photoshop. I was utilizing as much free as I possibly could. And I would encourage you to do the same, especially if you're not sure how far you want to take it. And that pretty much wraps us up. If there's any questions, I can take a few questions through Chris. I hope everybody enjoyed the presentation.
I think, so I'm looking at the questions right now. I don't see anything specific. George is asking if we get a price break from on one of our club members from the remote observatory. And I didn't know he had one, so I don't know about that. We'll have to ask. That's kind of an internal thing. I don't see any of the questions for you, Jerry, though. I think in the chat, people were asking questions and answering them. Usually price points about specific mounts, subscription costs for the sky updates, like $100 a year or something. Price points on mounts. I agree with Jerry. Start low budget, as easy and as cheap as you can, and then you go up from there. I do not recommend spending a whole lot of money on equipment at first. I will say this: I spent, call it, 3 years fighting with a mount and guiding system and trying to get it working right. And it turns out that I had the wrong settings on it. I found out one night when everything just clicked and everything worked. And it's worked since. But it took me 3 years of many cold nights and trial and error and trying to figure it out. And stuff I wish I had known before. It was kind of wasted time. So now I have to make it back up again. But talk to people, talk to other astronomers and astrophotographers. Cloudy Nights is a fantastic resource. They have a forum on there. They have the classifieds. I don't have anything to add. Let's see, do we have any other questions? Do we have a club buy and sell beside the swap meet? I don't think we have. We don't really do anything other than the swap meet. November, we have the club meeting is a swap meet. There's a very short presentation. We don't have a presentation from a club member, and we just do the swap. At any time, you can always go on the group's IO site, and you can talk about what you have. You can see if any members are up for buying it. If they are, fantastic. If not, you can always go on Cloudy Nights. I highly recommend Cloudy Nights. I've bought and sold so much stuff on there over the years. I don't think I've had a bad transaction. And no one said they had a bad transaction for me. So I highly recommend it. And there's no cost for it. Astromart actually has a cost. They have a lot more equipment at times. And some of the guys on there are pretty hardcore. But they do charge a fee of per year for you to access. That's even if you never buy anything, even if you never post anything to sell, you still have to pay just to get the access. So there's that. Let's see. I don't see any other questions. That should be good.
Chris, are you still sharing my screen?
I
wanted
not.
the.
You want to switch back?
I wanted to give the audience a chance to jot down my email address if they wanted to.
There we go. Switched back to you now. And that was short. All right, here we go. Okay. So if you have any questions.
There's my email address. If anyone wants to reach out to me directly, I'm willing to help anybody out that wants help.
And typically as a club, we're pretty good about new people coming in and having questions and trying to figure out what they either what they have and how what they have is going to work, or what they need to get for what they want to do. A lot of us have gone through the steps and we kind of know our way around. So if you have questions, you can always ask. And for members of the public, if you have any questions, you can always go to the Facebook site. It's facebook.com/Fort Worth Astro. You can always post any questions on there as well, and one of us will go in there and answer it, or direct you to a place where you can find the answers. So thank you, Jerry. We greatly appreciate it. I would give you a round of applause, but it's just me clapping in my dining room, and it would just sound funny. So,
No worries. I hope everyone has a good evening. Thank you for attending.
thank you very much, Jerry. We will switch over. Let's see. Sorry, I don't have it set up quite well yet for easy switching, but it'll do. At this point in the meeting, we usually go ahead and have we take a break, go to the bathroom, chat amongst ourselves. I'm all alone here. I don't have anyone to chat to. We do have the chat going on in the YouTube comments. And then after the meeting, we will have a Zoom meeting. If you are a club member, I have gone ahead and emailed you last night the link for that, so you can go ahead and actually you should be able to connect in now. So once we get done with the meeting, we'll be able to get on there. We'll be able to do a standard Zoom meeting and have a chat, do our social networking like we usually do. It'll just be over a bit of a distance, but that is for club members. Currently, anyone on, you can still chat with the club and let's go on. So for our May presentation, we still don't have one yet. We will have one. We have another month to figure it out. If you have an idea for a presentation, if you would like to do a presentation, please let us know. You can let either myself or Ed Gill, the vice president, know. He's the one who is working on getting presentations. Excuse me. We are always wanting to hear from club members. If you know someone on the outside who is in the community who is doing research or who has a presentation idea, please let us know as well, and we can get in touch with them. And hopefully we'll be able to do something similar to what we've done with Jerry, where we can do a remote presentation and they can talk through and answer any questions. All right, typically we'll talk about updates to the dark sky sites. There are no updates. We don't really know how it's going out there. I don't think anyone's gone out there. If someone wants to go ahead and let me know, but yeah, I don't believe anyone's been out to either side to see what the status is. For the Star Ranch, we probably, after all this rain, need to go ahead and have the neighbor give it a mow. If someone can go ahead and please contact her and let her know, we'll do the standard financial arrangement with her. All public star parties, Tandy Hills, Dino Valley, everything else canceled right now. But we are having the YouTube virtual star parties, depending on time, depending on weather, and it's my time and the weather. If anyone else wants to do a public star party by themselves or in their own group, if I'm not able to, that's absolutely fine. Please just contact me, let me know. I will show you the system I use. It's a very simple software. We can go through the configuration. You can test out. You can do a Zoom meeting if you want as well. If you have multiple people who want to do it at the same time. We have an account at Zoom for the club. It allows us to have longer meetings. It allows us to have up to 100 individuals on that Zoom meeting. Just let me know and we can go ahead and get it set up. We also have, we did have a request today from a Cub Scout group who wants a private event on, I believe it's the May 4th. So what I'm going to do is a private presentation with them at 7 p.m. And then we should be able to do private star parties for different groups as well. So if there's a group out there who's doing a Zoom meeting, who would normally get together, Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, various other organizations, schools even. If they want to go ahead and do a Zoom meeting, we can do a presentation. We can go ahead and have them in on a star party. If you know of anyone who's interested in this and we do a public star party, please let them know. Go ahead and go to the YouTube channel. If you subscribe and like, hit the button below. You'll get notified when I put up a a new stream to go out. If you go to the Facebook page, if you like and subscribe to the Facebook page, again, you'll get notified in case when there are posts, and you'll get notified when there are events. I try to put the star parties on as quickly as I can. Once I decide that, yeah, this is going to be feasible. So if Saturday looks like a good night, earlier in the week, hopefully Wednesday, Tuesday, if we have a long enough stretch of clear weather, I can go ahead and say, I'm going to go for a star party on Saturday night. So far, I haven't had to cancel any, but if the weather turns out bad, then we're just going to have to cancel. The nice thing is I can leave the telescope outside for a day or two, so usually I can set everything up early and then get everything ready the night before, and then do the star party, and we're not wasting time doing any configuration setup. We're just ready to go right at 9 o'clock. Previously, I tried to start at 8 o'clock, I think for the first or second one. I think for the first one it was 8 o'clock, and that was just way too early. The sky wasn't ready yet. It wasn't dark yet. Couldn't do any alignments because the stars weren't out yet, so we're just kind of sitting around and waiting for an hour for something to happen. At 9 o'clock, right now, still, the sky's dark enough that we can go ahead and start observing pretty much right away. Later on in the summer, depending on how long this lasts, if we start doing stuff in June, that'll be very long days, so we may have to start at 9:30, hopefully not 10 o'clock. That's getting a bit late. But the last one we had a really good star party. We actually, I scheduled it for 2 hours, it ended up being 2 hours and 40 minutes. We just had a lot of stuff to go over. It was really, really nice. So again, if you know of anyone who wants to do an event like this, please let me know. We also have the solar scope. If I have to, I can go ahead and get it, and we can do a daytime event. Saturday would be absolutely fantastic. Maybe during the day, I'll take a break from work, a couple of hours, and have everything set up. We can do some solar viewing. What that involves, it's a special scope that lets us see hydrogen alpha light in the sun. We get to see prominences, we get to see some surface detail, and again, we'll just put a camera on there, send everything to the laptop, we can see everything, and it's just something that we can play with and give a presentation about the sun. This works real well with kids. The presentation that I'm doing on May the 4th, it'll be about meteorites during the day, and then if the weather is fine, we'll go ahead and do it. We'll do the star party that Monday night. We'll see how that goes. And okay, why we're doing this. I thought I'd put this in. This is a serious deal. This is really, really important. I got these numbers today. So in Texas, we've had 477 deaths up till now. This morning when I checked, the number of deaths in the United States was 43,039. Just during the day, it went up again. Another 1,300. So 1,300 additional dead since yesterday. It's a lot. Compared to the influenza season from last year, the entire season, we lost 34,000 people in the U.S. This has just been, not even a month and a half. This is why we're staying home. The virus doesn't spread itself, people spread the virus. I know everyone is itching to get out. I know everyone is tired of being at home. My hair is getting a bit long, and I would love to get it cut. But I think my hair is a lot less important than people's lives. So I would much rather stay home and not get sick. I'll say this. During the swine flu epidemic of 2010, H1N1, I came pretty close to death. I did not have to go to the hospital, but I was out for 2 weeks that I don't remember. I was in bed for 2 weeks. I got up to go to the bathroom, and that was about it. I really don't remember those 2 weeks. It took me another month and a half before I was able to even go back to work. So I spent 2 months at home, and then it took another month and a half before I was back anywhere close to 100%. And the only reason I didn't end up in the hospital was because I was on Tamiflu within hours of me of onset of symptoms. So I'm worried for myself. I don't want to go out. I don't go out without a mask. I don't go out without hand sanitizer and just constantly clean my hands. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to die. So I'm staying in. We have a bunch of other members who are older, who are immunocompromised, or who have relatives who are immunocompromised. They don't want to get infected. They don't want to die. So please stay home. Let's just get through this. And I know everyone's antsy. I know everyone really, really is tired of it and wants to get out, wants to go do something. Please stay safe. If not for your sake, for everyone else. You may not get sick. You may not have any symptoms, but you may pass it on to somebody else and get them sick and kill them. And I don't want to kill anybody. The old joke is that I kill as many people as I want, and I want to kill 0 people. So please, let's all just stay safe. Elections in June. We have no plans right now for postponing the election. We're going to go ahead and try to have it, just like we do every single year. All officer positions are up for election. They are all the time. 2 board member positions are up for elections as well. And I am getting term limited out. Done. My 2 years are done. So please, we need a replacement for president, also I believe for secretary, actually for everybody. If you want to serve, please go to one of the officers or board members and say, I would like to serve in this position. It is not good to have one person doing it all the time. It is always better to spread the load. Please, please, please let one of us know if you want to serve. The requirements are easy. Be a member for at least a year. Be a member in good standing, which means pay your dues. That's really it. If you want to serve, if you don't know what to do, that is fine. The existing officers will work with you, will help you, will teach you what you need to know, what you need to do. This is actually kind of a fun position. I really had a lot of fun the last 2 years being president. I could do stuff like this. My wife will laugh at me, but I am an introvert, no matter what anyone thinks. I don't mind staying at home too much. I don't really mind being in the public eye, but at the same time, I am a homebody. So if you are an introvert, this is actually a great way to kind of start to get over it. If you're an extrovert, fantastic. Come talk to me, and we can go from there. But nomination committees in May. We're going to talk about who wants to be an officer, and there may be some vetting. The vetting is basically, are you a member for over a year? Are you a member in good standing? If you are, then you get on the ballot for June. We have yet to figure out how we're going to do this. We'll talk about this at the board meeting in May. If you would like to be in on the board meeting, if you'd like to listen in, please let us know. We are doing a Zoom meeting for that, so it'll be the officers and the board and anyone else who is interested. You can always, they're public meetings, you can always join in. So if you want to serve, or if you think someone else might serve, please ask them. Just go ahead and send us an email, let us know. Treasurer's report. Okay, so John sent us our numbers. I'll do it really quick. So we have $54,690 in the bank total. Of that, $8,700 is in checking, and $45,000, almost $46,000, is in the savings account. We don't typically do a lot of spending. We did have some donations. We did have some money come in, and I did spend a little bit of money on some electronic equipment for hopefully making the meetings a little bit better. I'll be able to use better cameras. I want to be able to use, when we return back to our physical meetings, I would like to do more recording of our of the presentations of the meetings for the public who aren't able to join, put them up on the YouTube channel. For that, I actually have a professional video camera that my cousin lent me. we'll be able to use that for the video. We have actually good audio that we're able to use as well. We're able to record the presentations. For now, while I'm still doing this, I'll be able to hook up a better camera for low light for the star parties. We'll be able to see a little bit more, just higher quality stuff. And it's not too expensive, and we're using equipment that we already have, that we have access to. We're trying to spend as little money as possible, but this was a piece of equipment, an adapter, that you just need the adapter to do it. There's not really any other way. So that's kind of the end of what we spent the money on. Night Sky Network, we have 132 paying members, 11 special members, and 143 total. At this point, I usually ask for if the board members have any announcements, members have any announcements, if there are any questions from the chat. I'm going to go to the questions and see. Okay, we got some comments about, let's see, reopening state parks. State parks are reopening day only. Put in your reservations, and hopefully they're not full. Please stay away from everybody else, but no overnight stuff at all. So no astrophotography at any of the state parks. And that includes Dinosaur Valley. So again, we're still kind of stuck doing stuff from home. Let's see, what else? Land search has stopped, from Mike Jones. Yeah, we're not, I mean, if we're not able to drive out right now really to see the land, there's not really much of a point in looking. I've been glancing every once in a while, and the listings are way down. No one is selling anything. This includes houses. This includes just land. The amount of stuff which is out there is just way down. Everyone is staying at home. No one wants to move. No one wants to deal with people right now, for the most part. It's at a dead standstill. So we are still looking for land, but there's just not anything out there really to look at. And at the same time, I don't want to go out anywhere. I don't want to drive a couple of hours to go see a piece of land and meet with somebody, and I don't know how many other people they've met, because these are realtors. So they typically, hopefully, would want to meet with a bunch of people when looking at houses. But again, the market is down low right now, so we're not dealing with anything else. Let's see. Membership renewal in May. We do the membership starts again in the membership year starts in June. So dues are due in May and June before the June meeting. We will have the PayPal link up for renewals, so we'll just log in and do it. That will be on the new webpage, and I am going to go ahead and swap over to the new webpage before the May meeting. So we'll have links on there specifically for renewals. We'll have links for new membership as well. The content is pretty much done. We'll just go ahead and clean it up. I'll have it transferred on to a new host in the next couple of weeks, and we'll just we'll debut that. So it's, most of you have seen it. We just need to finish it up. That'll be my push now for this next month. Just get it done. Just get it out. And we got some people saying some stuff about foreclosures might be possible. Maybe, but I would look for that really after this starts going down again. Maybe there'll be something. We just have to wait and look. So if anyone is looking, I know George has been typically looking at land. If something comes up, great. We'll take a look at it as virtually as we can before maybe one or two people go out there and take a look in separate vehicles, please. But again, we'll see. Anyone else have any questions? I don't see anything. It is now, what time is it? It is 8:20. Usually our meetings last till about 9 o'clock, but we didn't take a break today. We're trying to go as quickly as we can. I do a usual bit where I say, do we have any new people in the audience? And do we have any returning people from the previous month? And I can't tell. I am here all alone with one of my cats. I don't know where the other one went. Everyone else is upstairs. So we're going to skip to that, or skip that and go on. I will say that we do have the Zoom meeting, so as I mentioned before, please check your email. If you're not in the Zoom meeting yet, you can go ahead and jump over because I think we're pretty much done. I don't see any other questions coming up. So again, I'm Chris Modnitsky. I'm president of the Fort Worth Astronomical Society, at least for a couple more months. So thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. And have a good night, and please stay safe.